You know the vibe. All spice, no sugar. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to another episode on the Don't Sugarcoat It podcast. Guys, this is going to be a spicy round, okay? Because the truth is, y'all are so fixated on finding a fucking strategy for your business that you forgot the whole point in getting money or building a business is actually around implementing and going first and having the courage to take action. So I'm going to not just talk to you today. I'm actually going to share with you a journey of one of my incredible star trailblazer clients who scaled her business from 0 to 10K months in quite literally 90 days. And I'm going to give you the key pieces that she implemented into her business for her to scale that rapidly, okay? Because like I said, you are focusing on the wrong things. And I feel like the industry right now is talking so much about like the strategy and the systems and the back end. And I just really want to say this loud and clear that scaling to 6 figures has nothing to do with your back end and everything to do with the front of your business and how you're showing up. So let's break this down. One of my incredible clients who is inside my coaching mastermind had been in her business. She had been in an MLM affiliate marketing business for 2 years before she finally came into my world and completely revolutionized not only her business, but also her lifestyle, her level of self-worth, her confidence, her purpose, her power. All of these things happened from one decision that she made. So let's wind back the clock a little bit, shall we? This beautiful client came to me at one of my events last year. She came to one of my second Australian tour. And the irony is she came to my second Australian tour in Brisbane, and literally 7 months later, she introed me at my third Australian tour at the Brisbane event, which is pretty incredible for someone not only scaling her business that quickly, but also her age too. She made a decision at that event. She realized that she had been in business and had not made the sales, or really hadn't made any sales in her MLM business, and knew that something needed to change. And whether it was within her business, whether it was within herself, within her mindset, her energetic state, she knew something needed to change. And that's when she made the decision to come to my 3-day event, Create Her. At this event, mind you guys, this event is happening in August, coming up very, very soon. And also there is another round happening in December. So if you want any information regarding this 3-day event and you know deep down that there's something that needs to happen internally for you to shift the reality of your business, this event is specifically for that. So you already know by now if you need to be doing the internal work to shift your business reality, then click the link below. I'm going to put all the details in the link below. Essentially, this beautiful client of mine came to that event. And this 3-day event is all around shifting the internal state so you can experience the changes in your external reality. Anything that you want in your external reality, whether it's the bank account, the brand, the business, the lifestyle, the freedom, the confidence, whatever it is that you want to experience on the outside must first be shifted internally for you to experience that. Everything that you have in your reality right now, whether you choose to like it or not, is a direct mirror to what's happening internally. And that is why I created this 3-day event, because I know the reason why I scaled so quickly and I continue to outscale people in the industry is because I'm consistently working on my internal system, my energetic state, to shift quickly into what I want to experience in my external reality. And I know deep down that these are the key pieces that most female business entrepreneurs shy away from. These are the key pieces that keep people stuck because they're so afraid to go internally and look at what's actually happening on the inside first. So this event is all about going deep within, deep inside, and actually figuring out what unconscious patterns are playing out for you to either be capped with your cash flow, for you to self-sabotage your business, for you to even self-sabotage your personal life, right? Everything that you experience is all interconnected. So in this 3-day event, we go deep into what are the subconscious blocks that are holding you back in your business. We go deep into the patterns that are happening on an unconscious level that are keeping you stuck or convincing you that you're not good enough or that you aren't ready to go and implement that action or that idea that you've had come through. And at this event, this beautiful client of mine, her name is Savannah, by the way. I'm just gonna say her name. Savy, this is for you, baby girl. You fucking deserve a whole podcast tributed to you. And so Savy came to this event and changed her fucking life. She realized where she had been playing small. She realized that she had been consistently playing out patterns of limiting self-belief, that she didn't feel like she was worthy to actually be successful. She didn't feel like she had the environment and the supportive network around her to actually guide her through changing her business model and fully actually owning herself. Inside this room, she was activated into courage. She was activated into confidence. She finally figured out her fucking purpose. Like, I know that when I first started doing personal development, the only reason why is because I felt so unfulfilled in my current reality that I was like, there's got to be something more to this. So I was like, everyone's talking about finding out your purpose. I didn't even know what that means, so I'm going to do it. And that is why and how I created this event too, because I know there's so many people and so many female business owners that are just creating their business because they want the extra money or they want the freedom lifestyle, but they haven't actually figured out their true purpose and their true mission. And until you figure that out, you will keep looping in, capping yourself. You will keep looping in, keeping yourself small, because you actually don't know, you don't have a bigger why as to why you're creating the business in the first place. So in this room, Savy tapped into her purpose. She unlocked her true self-worth, and she released past behaviors and patterns that were keeping her small. And she then made the decision to work with me long-term inside my mastermind. And here is when we finally began to shift the needle in her business. She actually went through a complete business pivot, remodeled her entire office suite, and realized that what she was doing in MLM wasn't actually fully in alignment with what she was here to do and who she is here to lead. She realized that her passion was actually in social media and content creation. And within a matter of a few months, we worked on completely shifting her offers, and she scaled to 13K in sales in 90 days. She went from 0 to 13K in sales in 90 days. That is quite literally illogical. And you know, the juicy part about this is she had no funnel. She had no system or back-end processes. This was actually just delusional action taking, illogical self-belief, and knowing that she was here for bigger things and being relentless in pursuing that dream reality. This has all come from energetics and internal rewiring and subconscious beliefs. This is all because she did the internal work and then saw the external reward. So let's break down even deeper what is keeping you stuck right now. Because like I said, a lot of people are getting caught up in this current thread that you need to have back-end systems to support your business. And whilst that there is a part of that that is true, that's when you are scaling to the next level. Like, I know that when we think of like Alex Hormozy, right? Whilst yes, he has scaled an incredibly massive fucking empire, the systems that he has now, he wouldn't have had those when he first ran his business. He wouldn't have had all of those systems in place. He just had delusional self-belief, illogical self-concept to be like, this has to work and I'm going to figure it out as I go. He was in the front of his business and consistently taking action, going out to gyms and making phone calls and getting clients in. And once he had the clients in, he then implemented the systems to support the scale and the evolution of his fucking incredible empire, right? He didn't sit around and just work out this magical step-by-step process. No, he was in the front half of his business and then allowed the systems and the strategy and the back end of his business to move with him as he was scaling at rapid speed. So the piece here is it's not about sitting, like, honestly, I think most people think that being in the back end is going to just miraculously have people come into their world. You actually have to be out in the forefields of people's mind for them to even realize that you exist. Your system and your back end, there's no point sitting there collecting, cobwebs when you're not actually doing the stuff in the front of the business. And I feel like this is such a passionate thing in conversation that I want to speak into, because I feel like every day this past week I've been trying to meditate, and I just consistently have been getting like all of these downloads about having this conversation, because I'm so sick of seeing entrepreneurs and women in business getting stuck and caught up in this concept that if they don't have their systems perfect or completely mapped out, that they won't be able to scale. Because the reality is, like, the irony is, when I did my first 30K month, I didn't even have a fucking landing page for my offers. I didn't even have a checkout link. I was literally just had Stripe, and I would copy and paste the Stripe link to make sales for my business. I didn't have an automation or a step-by-step automation set up. They are the things that I have implemented as my business has grown. And the only reason my business has grown so quickly is because I've been consistently in the front of the business, taking delusional action, implementing downloads, running events, putting my face out into the world so people have no other option but to pay attention to me. And because I've scaled so quickly and I've made the sales and made the cash flow, I've then been in a position to hire people to do the backend work, because I know that my zone of genius, like, it's basically wasting my time by spending time trying to figure out the backend myself. I would rather take more delusional action, implement, be courageous in my decisions, make sales in the front end, so then I can pay someone to do the back end, because I know that my power is not in systems and strategy. That shit fucking bores my brains out, literally. My power and my magic is in being in the front of the business, showing up, putting on a fucking show, like being everywhere so people have no other option but to pay attention to me. And most female entrepreneurs probably find, like, yes, I know that some people love systems and love all of the analytics and the logic. Honestly, personally, for me, I'm like, oh my God, put me in a fucking bed. Literally, I will pay someone to do that. I know that for scaling my business, there's a part that I do have to be aware of my analytics and all of the information. And also, I know that if I was to spend hours a day trying to map out an Excel spreadsheet and create an automation, whilst I can do that, I know that shit drains my energy. So I would rather consistently be in the front house of my business, show up, and pay someone to do it. And I know that this is something that is neglected about having a conversation around it in the industry. It's always about, oh, you have to have a system and a strategy and a fucking 5-step process. Like, literally, I would rather like eat fucking cardboard than figure that shit out myself. Literally. And I think if you want to scale quickly and you want to build a business illogically and quantum leap and have the brand that turns heads in the lifestyle, there's also a part where it's like, yes, it's good to know those things. And also, you're better off putting your time and your energy and your magic into what you're actually here to do and what you're good at, and not dispersing your energy or draining yourself by just trying to figure out these systems and processes because someone on fucking social media told you if you don't have them, then you're not going to scale your business, right? When it comes to scaling to 10K months, 15K months, when it comes to scaling to your first 6 figures, it is all about action. It is all about courage. It's all about implementation. It's all about shifting the internal dialogue and your energetic state so you can consistently quantum leap in your business. Your systems will have no other choice but to catch up. With my client, Savannah, she onboarded 3 high-level clients, and that's all it took for her to hit her first 5-figure sales month. And because of the influx of her clientele, we were then forced to, okay, now let's look at the SOPs. Now let's look at the client transition and the client retention journey. Now let's look at putting systems in your backend to support your growth now that you have the clientele. I think people are keeping themselves small or protecting themselves by hiding behind systems and hiding behind SOPs and backend. I think the big piece here is being so fixated on having the perfect landing page with all the visuals and all the languaging and the messaging. You're so fixated on making everything perfect that you're prolonging or delaying actually doing the thing. And the irony is, this is something that I also kind of was a bit of a victim of earlier in the year. So with my previous partner, obviously being in a relationship where my ex was a industry leader, I got the gift and the privilege of learning how high-level entrepreneurs operate in their business. And whilst we were in different stages of our business, I took it upon myself to think that I needed to have all of the systems that she had implemented in her business for me to actually be good enough to be successful. So I spent so much time making sure that my landing pages were, high converting, creating VSLs, creating automations, creating funnels. And it stressed me the fuck out because I realized that I was holding myself back from actually showing up in the front end of my business. I was so fixated on making sure that all of the back end stuff was perfect before I could even show up in the front end. And the first 6 months of this year, my sales wasn't that great, to be completely honest. I'm grateful that I have a pretty good fucking monthly recurring revenue that I built from taking consistent action last year. But the sales in my business this year, at the first 6 months of this year, actually were, a bit of a fucking flop. And I've realized that it was because I spent so much time in the back end trying to make everything perfect to feel supported for me to scale my business. And the irony is, I was like, oh my God, I'm literally doing the thing that I tell my clients not to do. And whilst I believe that I also needed to go through that to actually implement the systems and the strategy in the back end to scale to 7 figures, I also know that I was keeping myself small and also holding myself back because I was so fixated on making sure landing pages were perfect. I was prolonging launching masterclasses. I was prolonging launching offers because, in my opinion, it wasn't good enough yet. And so I realized, wow, this is an experience that so many other female entrepreneurs and even any business owner goes through because they feel like they need to have a perfected strategy in their business for them to even go and launch the offer, which is not true, right? You being in your power, in your magnetism is what you need to leverage, and you showing up and sharing that in your socials and in your network and going out and putting your face in front of people to meet people and bring opportunities into your world. That is what you need to be doing when it comes to scaling to your first 6-figure year. That is what you need to be doing to build monthly recurring revenue, to build clientele, to build social proof, to build authority. It's actually consistently putting yourself in front of people. The back end, it's going to come because the reality is, like, the faster that you scale, you will be forced to implement these pieces into your business. And this is exactly what we did with my client Savy. We implemented a back end system for her to track her client journey, for her to track her sales and her monthly recurring revenue, for her to implement SOP. So when she scales to a place where she needs team to help support her evolution of her business, she has all of those systems there. We then mapped out the scalability of her offer suite. And now, because she has the foundations there to support her, she knows that, okay, this is these foundations are here to support me as I then scale to 20K months and then hitting that 6-figure milestone in the first year of business, right? So it's actually you moving the needle in your business first by taking the action and then allowing the systems in the back end to support you as you move. It's not let's do the business and the back end first and then we'll get the clients. That's like, yes, that will work, but it'll be very fucking slow. It'll be very boring and you will be consistently looping in the cycle of perfectionism. And we all know that perfectionism is never going to get you the scalability that you know that you want and you know that you're worthy to receive. And actually, if you look at the energetics of that, it's coming from a place of scarcity, of a decreased level of self-worth, not knowing your power, not knowing or being confident in what you're here to do. If you truly knew your self-worth and if you truly knew what you were here to do and believed in yourself delusionally, illogically, you wouldn't be fucking worrying about the back end. You would be consistently showing up and knowing that you will figure it out as you go. And this, like, I just really want to fucking get this point across is for you to scale to 6 figures, babe, has got nothing to do with how good your fucking systems are. That will come, I promise you, because you have no other option but to sort that shit out. And trust me when I say you will figure it out really quickly when you need to. And you also get to go through the initiations and the growth of getting to a place where you're like, oh, fuck, I need this system in my business to support my next level. You will get to that place, I promise you, as a result of you consistently showing up in the front end of your business. But you can't do that if you don't have the internal self-belief, the courage, the delusional mindset. That all must be cleared up first internally through subconscious work, through energetic work. Then you implement the systems. That is my key piece for you here today. And I truly hope that this lands within your core, within every single cell of your DNA, for you to understand the concept of you. If you want to scale your business illogically and have the bank account, the freedom, the lifestyle, it all begins internally. Everything that you want to experience on your external reality begins internally. And this is why energetics in business is so fucking important. Please refrain from getting caught in the sea of strategy on social media and remember that your ability to build a business comes from within, and everything else in your external reality, it will come as you grow. My beautiful soul, thank you for listening to this episode. If this resonated with you, I want you to share your story, tag me, the Don't Sugarcoat It podcast, because I want to know how this resonates for you. I love seeing people share because I don't, it's not like social media where I get likes and fucking comments. I'm like, I want to know if this is actually powerful work for you. So share this podcast on your story, tag me at Don't Sugarcoat It podcast. Also, if you know deep down that you're ready to, I actually hate fucking saying that, if you're ready. No one's ever fucking ready. Can we just honestly acknowledge that? No one's ever fucking ready to scale, okay? You think you are, but you're not, right? You have to take the action before you're even ready to get the results that you want, okay? Every successful person is like that, girl. Let me tell you. And so, if you know that you need to do the internal work to shift your business reality, to shift your personal reality, like Daddy fucking Joe Dispenza says, in order for you to create a new personal reality, you must change your personality, right? If you want a new fucking reality, you need to change the personality, the you, the human, the deep unconscious patterns. If you're ready and you know within your soul that it's time to really dive deep into the shit that you've probably been shying away from for a long fucking time, then this is an invitation for you to come to Create Her. This event, I guarantee, will change your fucking life. You'll walk out a completely revolutionized version of yourself, fully activated in her power, in her magnetism, in her purpose, with the foundations and the skill set and the content and all of the pillars that you need in your business to scale. If you know this is for you, then I'm going to put all of the information below. There will be one running on the 8th, 9th, and 10th of August here on the Gold Coast, which is pretty fucking epic that we're running this event on the 8/8 portal. Oh my God, all of my spiritual girlies will know the fucking bigness of that shit. And also, if you can't make the August, that's fine, because I'll be seeing you on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of December. So if you know this is for you, click the link below and I'll be seeing you in the fucking room if you're ready to change your life. Okay. Anyway, bye.